So, according to Islamic theory of ethics, also intention is very important. So we have this common idea with deontologists like Kant. We believe that first of all, the moral agent must be free. If you are forced to do something, or if you do something without any will, like growth of your hair, this has nothing to do with akhlaq, with ethics. Second, there must be attention. If you don't have any attention, it's not related to akhlaq. Third, you should have right intention. For us, right intention is also very important. If I have no attention or I have no good intention, if I am forced, if I am sleeping and do something or say something, for example, they have no ethical value. Now, does this recognition of the role of intention means that we have to be like Kant, deontologist? We say no. We can be teleologist and still believe in the role of intention. Why? Because we believe that our ideal, our goal, the result that we are trying to achieve depends on intention. It is with attention and sincere intention that your moral actions can help you in pursuit of nearness to God. So we have something common with deontologists, but we are not deontologists because of the fact that we believe duties themselves, responsibilities themselves originate from consideration of outcomes and results. The late Sheikh Muzaffar Rahmatullah Alayh in Usul al-Fiqh has very good discussion. I have very much benefited from this point for many years. Since I was studying Usul al-Fiqh by late Muzaffar, it has always remained in my mind. Of course, this might have been said by other people, but he very much clearly articulated this. He says, in evaluation and examination of concepts, sometimes you come across something which is al-illatu tamma, is complete cause for goodness or badness, for husn qub. Do you know what is the example for al-illatu tamma lil husn wal qub? Ahsantum. Justice is the complete cause for goodness, moral goodness. It means that it doesn't depend on anything else. As soon as something is a matter of justice, it is good, and if it is a matter of injustice or zulm is injustice, oppression, it is bad. But sometimes it is muqtadi, not illatu tamma, it is muqtadi. It is a kind of condition that leads to something, provided that there is no obstacle. We say muqtazi has to be existing, but mane or obstacle also should not be there. Yeah, for example, you have fire, but if the wood is wet, there is muqtazi for burning, but fire cannot burn the wood which is wet because there is mane. So we always say muqtazi mawjood, mane mafqood. If muqtazi is mawjood, mane is mafqood, then something happens. Now let's go to akhlaq. Telling the truth, as-sidq. As-sidq fil kalam. Telling the truth. Is it like adl? No. Because telling truth can sometimes be bad. Like when you disclose secrets of people, privacy of people, or when you do backbiting, ghiba, you might be telling the truth, but still it is bad. Or when you endanger an innocent person, telling the truth is bad. But you realize that telling truth in itself is good or bad, or neutral. Is telling truth in itself good or bad or neutral? Is good. Telling truth in itself is good. But it is not complete cause. It's not illatu tamma lil husn. Because it can be conflicting with something else, and that thing can be strong and override goodness of this action. So sometimes it is illat tam, sometimes it is muqtazi, and there is a third type. Speaking, walking, drinking, eating, are they always good? No. Are they always bad? No. Sometimes they are good, sometimes they are bad. So they are not like illat tam, because they can change. But they are not also like sidq wal kadhb. Do you understand the difference? What is the difference between speaking and eating and drinking and sidq wal kadhb? Although they are all sometimes good, sometimes bad. But what's the difference? The difference is that sidq has muqtazi. Said by itself leads to goodness, but it can be stopped. Something can come from outside and stop it, override it. But eating, drinking, speaking, talking, listening, walking, looking, in themselves they have no moral status. Something should come and give moral status to it. So we need a kind of title, N1, an external title, N1, biruni, to come and make it good or bad. But in muqtazi, the external title is not needed. But if it comes, can add to the goodness or stop goodness. For example, Husn Sidq by itself is a title that leads to moral value. If Husn Sidq is also saving someone's life, its value becomes more and more. But if it's going to endanger an innocent life, it's stopped and it becomes bad. This is a very beautiful point that the late Sheikh Muzaffar mentioned with my explanation. So, some titles are illat tamme for husn qub, for moral goodness and badness. Some are muqtazi, some are neutral. Illat tamme is enough to judge. Muqtazi deserves, is entitled to something, but it's not completely fixed, it can change. And those which are neutral, they have no status, moral status by themselves. It should come from outside. Speaking for why? What is the reason you speak? That can make it good or bad. Why you are eating? That can make it good or bad. What are you eating? Why? When? These are the things that can bring moral titles. Anawina akhlaqi can come and make it moral or immoral. So, we have to be very careful not to think that because some actions are sometimes good or bad, or some moral practices are sometimes good or bad, we should not think that there is no objectivity and everything is based on us. Because some people, have said, because sometimes good sidq is good and sometimes it's bad, so there is no objectivity. Akhlaq is subjective, or akhlaq is relative, is nisbi. We say no, akhlaq is not nisbi, akhlaq is not subjective also. Why? Because in certain conditions, sidq is always good. In certain conditions, sidq is always bad, telling the truth. If you clarify those parameters carefully, it's universal, it's not relative, it's not selective. Gozinashi, it's not selective, no. You didn't clarify all the conditions and parameters, and you said telling the truth is sometimes good, is sometimes bad. So the akhlaq is not objective, ayninist, or akhlaq is relative, nisbist. You say no. If you had clarified all the details, then it is always the same. So, what is our understanding of normative ethics? How much time we have?
We have 5 minutes to Azan.
5 minutes. Okay, so I think I stop here. Inshallah, next session, I want to mention what is our overall assessment about these theories, and then I inshallah mention what is the relation between theoretical ethics and applied ethics. اخلاق نظری و اخلاق کاربردی. And then inshallah we continue with other discussions.
I ask some
الحمد لله رب العالمين.